A very good morning, students. Hope you all are hale and hearty. Today, we are proceeding towards the next poem in our syllabus, that is The Sailor, composed by the famous poet Rabindranath Tagore. So, what does this word mean, the sailor? Sailor. This word means sailor means a person who travels through water. Sail means travel in a boat, okay, that has sails in it, okay. So what is the meaning of sailor? A person who sails through water is known as sailor. This poem has been composed by Rabindranath Tagore. Let's have some more information about Rabindranath Tagore. About the author, Rabindranath Tagore, also known by his pen name Bhanu Singha Thakur. Now, what is this pen name? Pen name is the name that is used by a person to write his compositions, to write his books, to write his novels. It is not the original name of the person. Suppose I am Kavita and I write something by the name of Shri. Okay, then Shri will be my pen name. So pen name is something different. So what was Rabindranath Tagore's pen name? Bhanu Singha Thakur, and also known by his sobriquets as Gurudev, Kabi Guru and Vishwa Kabi. Was a polymath. Polymath means a person of wide knowledge, a person of wide knowledge or learning. What does this polymath mean? Polymath means a person of wide knowledge or learning. He was a poet, he was a musician and artist from the Indian subcontinent. His notable works. Now, what is notable? Notable means remarkable. What are his remarkable works? Gitanjali. You people might have heard everyone. Gitanjali. We recite a song from Gitanjali also, where the mind is without fear. This is composed by whom? Rabindranath Tagore, and it is a poem from the collection of Gitanjali. Okay, Gora, Ghare Bhare, Janaganaman, Rabindra Sangeet, Amar Sunar, Bangla. What notable awards he has been awarded with? The first non-European to win Nobel Prize in Literature in 1930. See, he had received the Nobel Prize in Literature in the year 1913. He was the first Indian to receive that prize in literature. He has also composed our national anthem, Janaganaman. See, this is the poem, The Sailor. I'm going to recite this poem. The boat of the boatman Madhu is moored at the wharf of Rajganj. It is uselessly laden with jute and has been lying there idle for ever so long. If he would only lend me his boat, I should man her with 100 oars and hoist sails 5 or 6 or 7. I should never steer her to stupid markets. I should sail the 7 seas and the 13 rivers of Fairyland. But, mother, you won't be for me in a corner. I'm not going into the forest like Ramchandra to come back only after 14 years. I shall become the prince of the story and fill my boat with whatever I like. I shall take my friend Ashu with me. We shall sail merrily across the 7 seas and the 13 rivers of Fairyland. We shall set sail in the early morning light when at noontide you are bathing at the pond. We shall be in the land of a strange king. We shall pass the ford of Tripurni and leave behind us the desert of Tepantar. When we come back, it will be getting dark, and tell, I shall tell you of all that we have seen. I shall cross the seven seas and 13 rivers of fairy land. So it's a beautiful poem, my dear children, that tells a lot about the imagination of children. See, children, you people are also imaginative. Sometimes you people might also think of going to a fairyland where you find something different. Many of you watch Doraemon. You people might have seen Doraemon na taking out a door from his pocket, and what does he do? From this door itself, he goes to a land, to a place that is completely different from reality, and then there they enjoy a lot. Similarly, here also there is a child who wants to sail, who wants to sail through waters and wants to see fairyland. He wants to cross seven seas and 13 rivers of fairyland. See what is there in this poem. It is an imaginary poem. It is an imaginary poem, means everything, nothing is happening in reality. Everything, whatever is happening in this poem is related to imagination. It is all imaginative. It is here there is a child who narrates about his imagination about a fairy land. He dreams to sail along with his friend Ashu. What is the name of the friend? Ashu, through the seven seas and 13 rivers. How far does he want to sail? He wants to sail through seven seas and 13 rivers of fairy land. Seven seas, it's a long distance, understood? Whenever we people might have heard this kind of dialogue in Hindi movies also, that saat samundar paar se aayi hu, means I have come from a long, a very long distance. So or we might have seen that somebody has gone abroad, wo सात समंदर पार चला गया. So this kind of lines we have, dialogues we have heard in our Hindi movies. So what is his imagination? Is it possible for a child to sail through seven seas? No, it is not possible for a child to sail through seven seas, but it is because it is in imagination, and in imagination we can do anything. We can bring in anything in front of us. We can do anything. We can, means even the impossible things also we can make possible when we are imaginative. So in his imagination he thinks that he will sail across the seven seas and 13 rivers along with his friend Ashu and reach the land of a strange king by the noon time. And this much of this long distance he will cover in how many hours? In a very few hours. He's saying by noon, means by the mid of the day he will be able to, he would manage to reach to the land where a strange king rules. They together would pass the ford of Tripurni and leave behind the desert of Tepantar. So these two places name have been mentioned here. He convinces his mother that he would return back before dark and would narrate about his experience. See, his mother is not crying, but in his imagination he is thinking. Then he would tell it to his mother. How would his mother react? His mother would sit in a corner and start crying that his son is going so far, whether he will be able to come back safe or not. So what he would reply to his mother? He would say that, mother, you don't cry, that because he is not going for an exile like Ramchandra, God Ramchandra, who had gone for a 14 years exile. So he's saying that he convinces his mother that he would return back before dark and would narrate about his experience. This poem takes us back to our childhood where we also dreamt about going to fairyland. See, people, see, children, you have come out of your childhood. Some are still in their childhood, still so imaginative that in your imagination you go somewhere to some other land. So it takes us to fairyland, meet the fairies, and to be the hero in the eyes of others. See, you people might have seen Nobita also, huh? In Doraemon, what does he do? He is very he's a very what you can say very he's a fellow who gets scared very soon. Who He is very scared of Jian Sunio है ना. But when he is in some other land, okay, what happens, he does the acts of bravery and becomes the hero, but actually he is not hero. So in his imagination he tries to prove himself as a hero. Similarly, here also the child wants to do such acts that he becomes the hero in the fairy land. See now the highlights. What are the two highlights in this poem? That is seven seas and 13 rivers. See, this is a phrase, seven seas and 13 rivers. The term has a special mention in Bengali fairy tales, which means a distance too far. As I told you, seven seas and 13 rivers. Just think about it, how much. You cannot see even one ocean with one in one view. Okay, in one view we are not able to see a complete ocean. Think about seven seas. Okay, you people, many of you might have gone to Goa, Mumbai, where you people might have seen Arabian Sea. Were you able to see the whole sea together? No. We cannot see the complete sea in one glance. So, do you think it is possible for a child to sail through seven seas and 13 rivers? No, it is a quite long distance. So, this term has a special mention in Bengali fairy tales, which means a distance too far. Desert of Tepantar. It refers to a faraway place often mentioned in Bengali children's literature. Now, what is desert? Desert is a arid land with no or very less vegetation. Now, what is the theme? The poet expresses the imaginative wandering of a young child who sees a boat at a wharf and thinks that it is such a waste to let the boat stand there for days. So, what is the theme of the poem? That the poet expresses the imaginative wandering of a young child. There is a young child who is imagining. What is he imagining? Who sees a boat. What does he see? A boat at the wharf, the bank of a river, and thinks that it is such a waste to let the boat stand there for days. He imagines where he would go and what he would do if once he is permitted to take the boat and sail. He thinks where he would go and what he would do if once he is permitted to take the boat and sail. Figure of speech. Now, what is figure of speech? A figure of speech is a phrase or word having different meaning than its literal meaning. It conveys meaning by identifying or comparing one thing to another. Now, see, if we talk about figure of speech, see, these figures of speech are used to beautify the language. Okay, as you people might have seen your when you go to some to attend some party. I have earlier also told this thing, that when you go to attend some party, what do you do? You people decorate yourself, you get ready, you don't go as usual as you're sitting in home and you go. No, you choose a proper dress, you choose a proper perfume, some accessories, right? Similarly, your mummy also decorate herself with some necklace, some bangles. Okay, so similarly, these figures of speech are the jewels of language. Okay, to decorate our language, to beautify our language, we use figures of speech. Now see which figure of speech has been used here in this poem. In this poem, we have a simile figure of speech. Which figure of speech? Simile. It is a figure of speech that makes a comparison between two completely different things using words like as or like. Means we have these two words as or like, and make comparison between two things. For example, as brave as a lion. See, a comparison between two things using as or like. Here are the two things that can be compared. A girl, she has blue eyes, bright smile. The sun is round, yellow, bright. Her smile is as bright as the sun. Okay, we are comparing her smile with the brightness of the sun. Her smile is as bright, is bright like the sun. See, in the previous sentence we have used as to make the comparison. In this later sentence we have used like to make the comparison. Okay. In this poem, I am not going into the forest like Ramchandra represents a simile. Here we are comparing a human with God Ramchandra. Ramchandra had gone for 14 years of exile in Ramayana. Similarly, the child is saying to his mother that he is not going for a 14 years of exile. He will come back soon after sailing through the 7 seas and 13 rivers. So she needs not cry. So here in this poem, he has compared himself with Ramchandra, the god. There are some word meanings: idle, lazy, not working; oars, up long pole with flat blade used to row a boat through water. You people might have seen in boat when we sail through a boat, what happens with the help of a boat from one bank to another. What do we have? You might have seen that the boatman has a stick. At one end there is a flat piece of wood, okay, and with this he uh, makes a movement in the water and the boat moves. So this is oars. Hoist sail means to raise a flag or sail to its highest position. Steer means guide the movement of a vehicle. Weep means cry. Steer, you people might have seen the steering, okay, in your car also. Weep, cry, merrily, happily, strange, unknown. So what you people have to do in a homework? In your homework, you have to recite the poem, as well as you people have to write these word meanings in your book. As you do in the class, when we explain you people, what you people have to do, you people will underline the difficult words and write the meanings that are given in this slide, okay, in this PPT. Thank you. Have a nice day.